Hello. We're here under the tree
It's
again.
starting.
It's a new day. Manly, what you say?
Happy weekend to you. We are now live.
Yes, there. Okay, now, um, great day under the tree. I'm trying to chill, so you all folks out there. We've been having a good show, and the COVID-19 is still rampant, Melanie.
Yeah.
What you say with that?
Well, we just have to protect ourselves.
We check ourselves from that.
Yep.
I hope.
It's here, but um, I think globally it's actually now being um, accepted for what it is, and
It is what it
and
is.
placing the responsibility on us as individuals to protect ourselves.
We should
You
done.
know, the protocols have been around for 2 years, so we should have it down pat.
We should have done that long time.
I agree, but
So
we wait for first world countries to lead the way, and
no,
England has
we need
done
to
so.
stop that. We need to lead the way. We Bahamians, we say we the best in the world.
Yeah.
We need to lead the way. See, I have a thing where we 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 need to we need to rule the world because we are the best in the Caribbean. That's what we say. So if we sing this tune, if we sing this tune, you need to stop singing this tune. If we ain't accept the role as the best in the
But
Caribbean.
we may be the best in certain areas, but we have to still rely on the first world countries to kind of set the pace because we are deficient in a number of areas.
This,
We're not as self-sufficient
for
as
what
we
I heard
appear.
people tell me,
Hmm.
this is the country where God resides. God resides no place else. Only like God was created here by the rock and the sun and this and how the Bahamas so beautiful. And we hear these stories. So I ain't hear nothing, nothing.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but those are basically what I would call relative expressions.
They serious about that, you know.
They
They
may be serious because that's the lens through which they see the world,
they
but does that make it reality?
they will give you, and when you talk about the history book, they say, well, if you look in this chapter, it says this, it says it, this country, this, blah. So when they show you how seven rock and seven keys,
700 islands, rocks and keys.
people you're confused and stop confusing people. I just think that
Okay.
you're confusing. Another thing before we get into our show,
Mm-hmm.
something I really is upsetting me, man.
What's that?
I had a conversation this week with some people. I won't call any name, but
Mm-hmm.
they were interesting. How
Okay.
how you could tell me how you could tell me that the Catholic Church better than the Baptist Church. And I had a conversation with them with this because they say the Catholic don't fight, but the Baptists are always fighting over church.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, well, you know what the Catholics do? They don't fight.
What do they do?
They undermine. They stay in the church and undermine. Them Catholics is undermine. They stay right in. Stay. Let me tell you what they do. They'll say, "This my pew. I've been here from 1960, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting in this chair, and I ain't gonna let nobody run me."
Okay.
So what is worse, fighting and moving and opening your new church, or sitting there and being a hypocrite? Hello, somebody, and they know because they listen to this show because they tell me they can listen, so I know they listening.
Well,
And
again,
so I want to wake some of them up. Listen, and don't tell me the story because the Catholics was church, the first church and all that. Listen to me. And I said, that's like Tony speaking. Every church I believe have something to offer. And I don't believe because I believe there's Christians in every denomination. That's my belief. Some people say their religion is messed up, but it's what you believe in. One, for me, once you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, I good. I good.
That's turn, and that is Tony's
Way
worldview,
buying.
and nobody can knock Tony for
And
that.
it's my opinion, under the tree where we meet every Saturday at 3 or 4. Okay, change the timing. Okay, at 4 under the tree. This baby. And under the tree, don't bend and break for nobody. Under the tree is a show. It's just black and white. Either you're white or you're black. And we could talk about race. We could talk about prostitute. We could talk about anything you want to talk. Because today we talking about relationship,
Hmm.
and then we can get deep this relationship. We can get deep into relationship. Yeah, because a lot of relationship has so many fake, so many lies, so many problems, and we here under the tree to help solve some of those problems. You might like my opinion, you might like Melly's opinion, but it's opinion way yours. That's the key. And I am a sex therapy. Listen to the word sex therapy.
Therapist?
Therapist. But I say therapy. Notice I ain't a therapist.
Oh, you are the therapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our show is based on today on sex in relationship. And I'm gonna get right into it. So let Melanie be herself. You know, Melanie. You know, Melanie gotta. Oh no, I gotta put this right because you ain't saying something right. Here. You miss a point. You know that's Melanie. She gonna straighten. And okay, now let me tell you what we talking about today. We talking about in relationship, sex involved in relationship. How sex should be approached. How do you know that you get your sexual fulfillment? Um, and all sorts of good stuff. Let me hear stuff that you like. I see my buddy over here get little. Ooh, right.
I'm
Okay.
listening.
All
I
right.
am listening.
You want to say something before I
No,
go? Okay.
just launch into
Launch.
the deep.
There's a lot of relationship where sex is being used to control, and should I say woman again? So I get beat up. Okay, let's start with let's say woman. Let's say in relation to both parties, but mostly women use sex as a weapon. They use sex to control most men in the home. Now you could chop it in, you like chopping, come right in and say your piece. And it's it's causing a lot of harm in relationship. And it's causing a lot of harm to women because now the men will feel that I could use this to my advantage too. Because if you go to bed with me and you just pleasing me from what you want, it don't have to be money, it could be anything, what you want, manipulation. That's manipulation. And manipulation becomes to be controlled.
Mm.
And most times, women will say these words. I don't know if they mean to say it or it's happening. They say, well, he ain't doing it, he ain't doing it. Well, he ain't bring that money or he ain't this, he ain't getting none. So they use this sex as a weapon so many times.
I have a question
Ask the
because
questions.
I don't see that happening in marriages.
What?
I think that's probably in
What world you live in?
non-committal
What
or
world you live in?
non-committed
What world you
relationships.
live in? It happens more than marriages.
You've heard of it
I
happening?
know. Every day I heard it every day. I see it every day.
Okay.
Listen, men are being controlled by sex. Okay, well, excuse me. We always talk about women being controlled by money, man controlling them by their money. But men is being controlled by sex so much. See, because men, especially somehow carrying or behaving men, somehow they so sex oriented. Everything comes to sex. So they talk to a woman after a good conversation. The next thing is you married, you this, you that. It's based on sex.
Okay.
Or and if they're having a conversation with their buddies and friends, the topic is sex.
That's the man.
That's the man. Yeah.
Okay.
Women somehow talk about sex in a negative way.
Really?
Yeah. Women normally talk about sex this way. You hear him talking? Ain't nothing. He weak. He can't have a good heart on. Don't worry about him. He can't do nothing.
So when the men talk, how do they come across?
Men, come on. Boy, that guy or that person had a ball last night. Or she this, she that.
So the experience is always good for the man.
Majority of times.
That's
Un-
interesting.
Unless the woman has issues and she display those issues by verbally or by action.
And
Mhm.
when you say issues, that means she's only doing it for doing its
Sick.
sake.
Yeah.
But if she's in the right place and she's being
Genuine.
satisfied,
Yes.
then the man definitely bound to have a good experience.
Right.
So it seems like an easy fix
It seems like it.
because for you all, from what you just said,
Mhm.
it's always a good experience. Even when the woman isn't in the mood because she's not pleased with you, you can get the satisfaction that you desire.
For the moment.
You may not have
No, for the moment. For
for
that moment.
okay,
See,
but you may
un-
want more,
yeah.
but she's not giving you more because you're not giving her what she it's I think it's really a
Trade off?
yeah, I would say so.
No, it's a problem in the Bahamas.
It's an imbalance in the relationship.
Yeah.
And what men need to realize that if you want to have a good sexual experience with your partner, women don't separate their emotion from the rest of their life. So yeah, you said it the other day. You say happy wife, happy life.
That
And because sex is so important to you all, it means then that you must do whatever it takes to keep that woman happy so that you can get the good sex, especially when you know she is able to deliver in the way that you desire. But because she is unhappy or in an unhappy place, she withholds herself.
right. Let me say this. Let me see if I can break this down. Cause see, I can break this down to you so I can we can just get it in a
Hmm.
nutshell. Most women open the leg halfway.
Not when they are happy.
But hold on. At the beginning, most women tell you, I ain't gonna give this man all this at the beginning. They trying to save this for some trip. So down the road. So unless he measure up whatever their measurement is,
Hmm.
then they open their leg wide. See, they open their leg to a certain point
Hmm.
because they hold back something. They say, I can give you all of this because I know you really, really, really love me like that. So I can wait till you love me to open all of this. Um, Here's the point though. This is what I hear from men.
Hmm.
And I run my little survey thing this
Hmm.
week. It's right here from men. they believe more women fake their love than truly love. But you know what I said to the guys? He had a key. Most women might fake their love, but most men don't really love. What they want to do is have sex. They want to do a slam bam
Mm,
and then run,
okay.
hit and run. And most men, let's be honest, now we going deep. Let's be honest. Now, folks out there, I know you're gonna look at me and crazy. I don't mind. You can talk to me, stop me in the road and give me a bad time. I don't care. Most men only want juice and sleep.
Hmm.
And loving you or making you feel special at
And
first.
that is the problem.
Yeah. And so most men don't understand. That's why the woman hold back because she trying to sustain really really
Into her,
yeah
right?
because
Or
most
you only into getting what you want,
but the
and
fact is most men are only into hit.
but men need to learn how to love, how to speak the language of love that the woman
Yeah,
speaks,
so what you trying to
or
tell me?
basically acquire emotional
So
intelligence.
what you trying to tell me? This what you talking about?
Hmm.
Tell me if I going wrong. This what you talking about? Folks, watch me. So what you saying to me? If me and you go into bed to have a sexual encounter,
Hmm.
you then this is the way the man should treat you. I'm just
Hmm. Let's have it.
you ready?
Hmm.
So you want to do a Tony?
What is that?
Okay, let me tell you what a Tony is. Tony is a guy when he goes into bed
Hmm.
with a woman. He does that not gonna take off his clothes and jump in there. Tony has to explore
Hmm.
the whole the atmosphere,
So
the whole
basically, you have to engage
right. So what I want
and exhibit
right
and engage in intimacy
right.
in getting
So
connected.
so I have to build up to that point
Hmm.
because when I get there, I don't want no second guessing. And let me
Hmm.
explain some of what I
Hmm.
meant. I meant first thing, rubbing my hands. This my I like to rub my hands
Hmm.
and rub my hands all over the body,
Hmm.
rub it till I get all the face, all over. And I want to make sure that I learned this a long time ago.
Okay.
I want to
So
make
you are
sure,
indeed a therapist.
yeah, I want to make sure, listen, that you feel me,
Hmm.
not just by physical.
Okay. But there is a connection.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's gonna. I want a connection in the bed.
Hmm.
So once I get this connection in the bed,
Hmm.
see, because um, what that word I'm gonna use when you get shocked from a door.
Shock.
Yeah, when you get shocked from a door. When you
A
go
door.
open the door, static,
Oh, okay.
static.
Well,
Okay, whatever the other word. Okay,
shock.
by my hand. No, not shock.
Hmm.
By my hand.
You get a sensation.
Yeah, I want you feel that, and I want to do it and tell your body
Hmm.
stand to react to my touch.
Okay.
Not that,
So
not you turn
basically,
over, not you just turn to me. But I say when your this is what I say.
uh-huh.
Your body
Hmm.
started to react with me. That means when your body started to shake. That's what I meant. Time up.
Okay.
When
All
your
right.
body started to act. So
Hmm.
once this happened, I know now I have your full attention.
Right. Right.
That means my my spirit or whatever it is
Hmm. Hmm.
design to design you. So we working in cotton. That's the church way. They say the spirit is.
Hmm. So basically,
Mhm,
there is your
mhm,
well, I think the term is foreplay,
mhm.
right? Or your sensation.
Yeah,
So you are you are deliberately engaging your partner to arouse them
yeah,
and at the same time get the response
Right.
that you
But I
desire.
learned this
Mm-hmm.
from massages.
Okay.
When you get massages and you get
Mm-hmm.
relaxed
Mm-hmm.
and you get kind of so relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
everything start tinkling.
Well, basically,
Yeah.
relaxation,
And how?
there is no tension,
Right.
and there is
And
an opening of
and
the spirit, the
right.
mind,
And
the
ten
body.
and then sometimes when people touch you in massages,
Mm-hmm.
you you start like, hold on now. It's getting a little too deep. So go back to where go back. So now when you start feeling that inside and you
Mm-hmm.
getting concerned now, you like kind of think, hey, and that wake up all your blood juices.
Mm-hmm.
See, the whole intercourse then become easy then because
And enjoyable.
I don't have to work that hard any longer
Mm-hmm.
because I got you in a state.
It's the picture that you paint.
Mhm.
I think is the ideal that most women would expect from their partner. But the problem is not enough men are prepared to do that work.
I don't think so.
What do you think is the
I
problem?
think most women don't want that experience.
You think so?
Yeah, let me tell you why. Because probably men then burnt them in the relationship, husband
Mm-hmm.
then burnt them in relationship, so they will not let it happen. The quicker they get this intercourse or this interaction over, is better for them.
But then now that is where problems arise in the
Mhm.
relationship and everything goes downhill because there was a bad encounter, a bad experience, a letdown, whatever it was, and there was no effort made to correct, to seek forgiveness and be forgiven or extend forgiveness because that definitely will if a woman is carrying baggage from a past hurt, she's
Mhm.
never gonna actually ever give her partner the opportunity to have the experience, and so therefore the marriage, the relationship will die.
Now, now we going where the show wants to go. Now
Mm-hmm.
you taking the red one. I just
Mm-hmm.
said it to get it set.
Mm-hmm.
I believe what happens to women in relationship and sexual encounter with a significant other is that past is in the present. And some of these women might be molested. That is why they don't go full gamut.
Explain.
Explain.
You mean in childhood they
In
would
child
have,
in
so they
childhood,
would have been traumatized.
traumatized.
Okay.
So what they're doing, they have to do this because you're my husband.
And the memory, that means they didn't
Ah,
get
they
therapy
didn't get therapy, and most of them have it as a secret. So they hold it to themselves.
because they feel as if they did something to warrant what happened to them, not realizing that they've been exploited and abused.
And then most time, if it doesn't happen earlier,
Mm-hmm.
it happened in their marriage where there's some kind of abuse went on.
Mm-hmm.
So watch now, watch where I'm going. So when the woman step out, watch now, and when man or woman step out,
Mm-hmm.
they give that whole set because it's not in that setting where the abuse was. So they can actually get, that's why the sweetheart or the man on the side or boy, girl on the side, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that's why they encounter happiness there. That's why it's more. It's feel good. It's better than what you get at home. It needs nothing to do.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I think it's a kind of a warped reality in that why can't you have it good at home? Just simply open up and resolve the problem, the underlying issue.
I can't
Because
because
in the external relationship, it's a continuance of cover up because you only there for the sexual experience and you go back home to the unsatisfied home environment.
but I can't because I have a greater problem that I never dealt with, and so I can't open up and I can't do it. And then I having the same problem with you. I tell you about this problem I having with you.
Mm-hmm.
You never addressed it. You never give me a chance to address it. You, it's like me and you being married. Okay, let me
Mm-hmm.
explain. And I go to bed with you, and I say, "Man, you wouldn't open up his leg. All you doing is playing games." And yeah, take it. And but my experience, my sexual journey,
Mm-hmm.
where I come from, is this open, big sexual journey. Your
And
se- your sexual journey is so
sometimes,
small.
and sometimes
Mhm.
that is a problem.
It's a big
You
problem.
talk about compatibility,
Right.
and if you remember in last week's show, we I mentioned the fact that we talked about the church
Mhm.
girl and the fact that the, the woman is expected to preserve herself. So she lacks experience prior to her marriage. But the man, on the other hand, he has been all over the globe and has many sexual encounters. So he has a repertoire of experience. And he comes now and he forgets that he has selected a church girl for his wife.
Mhm.
And he is not thinking that I have to teach you some things. They come because of this experience. You come expecting the woman to already know some things, but she doesn't know anything because sex and education in the school is relatively new and they only go to what is
Basic.
politically correct,
Yeah,
very
yeah, basic.
basic
Yeah, basic.
about knowing your anatomy and your physiology, but in terms of what you can explore within a marriage and positions and preparation, foreplay, and all of that, that doesn't factor in. And it is taboo to talk about it in our
But that's why
society.
I take it on. I'm not. I'm scared to take on anything because because if I go to bed with you or with a woman
Mm-hmm.
and she need to turn to the left,
Mm-hmm.
I can tell her turn to the left
Okay.
because and I can tell her what I want. Here's the problem.
Right.
A lot of people don't. They still saying, "Oh, I having a good time. We had a good time." No, you didn't have a good time. You only saying you had a good time because you had a good time. Because if you had a good time, you would just look at the person and say, "Boy, you gotta do this again." Don't tell me you have a good time because you only talking with your mouth. You fooling yourself.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, and what has happened with this sexual experience
Mm-hmm.
is causing so many people to cheat.
Yeah, it is. Because they perceive that the only way they're going to get
Right.
the exploration, experimentation, excitement, and gratification is to go out there. And for some reason, there is an added element of excitement to cheating, even though the man or the woman may not want to cheat, and after the fact, they feel guilty. But at the end of the day, they had their fill,
Mhm.
and
And
they say, I ain't gonna do it no more. But they go back home and they try to improve, and things don't get no better. They end up right back repeating the
and you want me
act.
to give you a history of it? When we go down the history of that,
I'd
you
like to.
sure?
Yeah, yeah, share it with
Ready?
our.
All the women you hate me after this history though.
Okay.
Okay. The history of that is this. Go right back to the Bible.
Mhm.
And the history is of what men did in the Bible days. Men work,
Mhm.
men provide,
Mhm.
and men love their wife.
Mhm.
That's what men did.
Mhm.
What women did. Watch now. And if I say this, all the women get mad at me. Watch what? Woman clean the yard, paint, cook the food, keep the children, keep the house, and she was a helpmate to the man when he come home.
Mhm.
Let's go again. Clean the house, clean the yard, clean the house,
Cook
cook
the
the
food.
food,
Take care
take
of
care
the
of the man,
children.
and take care of the children. That's what the woman did in the
Mhm.
Bible is.
Mhm.
You see anything with woman working for money? No. You know what you gonna say to me now? You know what they can say to me?
Mhm.
Well, we independent, so we want to work. We want to do our own thing. Now, let me tell you what happened with Costas. Let me tell you what happened with
Mhm.
Costas. All mess. This mess that way it mess up.
What caused it?
All the mess we having.
Mhm.
And you know the history of the mess. When women decide they want to work.
Did women really decide they want to work,
Ah,
or
that's
did
why I said it. I set you up. No.
society demand?
Now let me. This is why I want. I glad you're gonna. I set it up. Here's the problem. I know you was gonna say that. Oh, the man. Watch this now. Because when women started talking about they want economic independence,
Equal rights?
equal rights.
I
Hold
think
on.
women.
Oh, hold on, hold on,
Mm-mm.
hold on. Because back in our day, now, folks, I want you to listen this good. Listen this good now. Don't miss this. Back in the olden days, the Bible is,
Mhm.
men didn't have to go out looking for money like that,
Mm.
to take care of his wife. It was an economic trade where they trade. But now, when this woman started, they want this economic right. They want this money. They want this,
You
and they want
know,
things.
you know.
That's when men, when women started to go out. See, because you back in the day, you could have settled for the rice I bring, the sheep and the cow we cut, and the corn and the grass. You could settle for that.
Mhm.
Now today, women want car, this, that, jewelry.
But
See,
Tony,
but hold on, I'm gonna let you talk right now. So, in this economic power, this is where the woman, it was trade power back in the day.
mhm.
So now let me hear your story so I can mash you up.
I only want to um put a broader light
Yeah,
on
put
it,
it broader light.
and the broader light is women came out of the home not until the early 1900s,
Mm-hmm.
And you know what caused it? Western civilization.
But that's the point. That's what I'm talking about. The
But
economic.
you can't blame the woman herself, because the when the government or the authority indicated that the men needed to go to war, the
Mhm.
women had to go out there and do what the
But
men were
yeah,
doing.
but remember,
So it's not a woman's choice.
yeah,
It was
but
circumstances, it was social
my mother
circumstances.
and your mother
Hmm.
back in the day they satisfy what they husband
That's
bring.
true. But guess what? When exposure to the other world, the
Mm-hmm.
other side of the world, came into view, and we saw how others lived, we wanted to live like it. Not
But
only that, the people who brought the exposure, okay, also set in place rules. That's how we get our religious teachings,
yeah, I know.
Because if we look at it, we didn't always go to church on Sunday, and we didn't always read the Bible and all of that. So you're talking about an evolutionary
Evolution,
process.
right? Evolution, but just go back to let's go back when you finish. When you finish it, let's go back to our topic. I'm tired back here. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So the role of the woman, and then if you look at a lot of documentaries of the um, development of countries and governance and so forth, you realize that women, what you are saying where women are today, is because women were subjects of men and they didn't have a right. They were exploited. They had certain people that they choose to be their wives and others they choose to be their whores.
Stop right there. You hit the point. That is what I'm about to talk about. But the same thing. That's what we're talking about. That's where the men got their experience. And he
Okay.
came home, and his wife was happy to do it with him. His wife was happy that he was teaching her because she was submissive.
Mhm.
And so the role of the woman back then, because the Bible said they had all concubines. And
Wives and concubines,
so,
yeah.
so, and now let me go a little
So
deeper.
men always had it good.
Yeah, but let
And
me,
the
that's a part of
women
life.
were happy to be subjective.
Yeah,
But guess what?
but how much seed,
The men
how much seed you carry?
the men, however, fulfilled their role and the women knew their role. So as time evolved and the academic book says one man to one wife and the family, the nuclear family, and the family is supposed to have this, that, and the next. We live a different life from what
Yeah,
traditionally
but
is lived
fine.
or was lived.
But let's go back to the topic. Right back,
Hmm.
right
Hmm.
back to why men, the intercourse, and how it's happened, and
Hmm.
why man. How much seed you carry?
I don't know.
You don't carry that, right? The man carry the seed. Let's see, man. Because
Women carry seed too.
but they said man,
Men carry sperm, women
the
carry
Bible said man
ovaries.
go and multiply. The man, yeah, the man.
Explain that.
So, so the man has only men have seeds. Only men have seeds. So, how
Yes,
many seeds? How many?
men
I
have
give you
two. Men have two scrotum.
right,
Women have two ovaries.
right. But hold on. But men give you the seeds.
Hmm.
Okay. Now,
That
uh,
combines with the seed that I produce.
right. But hold on. I have to give you. I give you the seed.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So if I given you the seeds, you know how many seeds a man got?
Yeah, millions.
Okay. So how you think that one sexual intercourse could cover all them seeds he got?
Yeah, but guess what?
See?
No,
Oh,
but guess what? But guess what?
oh
For
Lord.
each intercourse and each ejaculation, there are millions that are
Wasted.
okay,
Okay.
because
But
only one,
but
and if none get catch, then all is
but
wasted.
but men have so many.
Yeah,
And
but women have
hold on.
two.
Yeah, but see, there is one woman you
That
take.
don't
Hold on. You think
justify what
one
you're
woman can carry
trying to say.
hold on. You think one woman can see man can plenty seeds so you go spread them seeds. So that is what goes I
But
understand what's going
I
on. You understand
understand.
what's
I
going on. Yeah.
understand the biology
So the
and I
biology,
understand the
yeah,
sociology
the
of it.
biology of it is that he he has so many seeds and so many going on
Hmm.
is that what most cases if the woman don't meet this is what I meant. I don't mean the
I,
woman
I
has
I
you
I
have to be a
understand,
person to meet his sexual drive.
and
That's why I
and
say seed.
and that is
His
why,
sexual drive.
a lot of people
Mhm.
believe that it is natural for a man to have multiple women
Yeah.
in their lives because yes, the sex drive and all of that in the man is different. The sexual need in a man is
It's
different
different.
from
Yeah.
that of in a woman. And so when you are now looking at marital relationships and the essence and the necessity for sex in the marriage, the woman really does a man a disservice when she denies him sex. But what
Well, why do you
we
think
have
women
to
deny
do,
man?
because of a number of
Okay.
reasons, okay? And you always say 365 excuses,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
But headache, sometimes they're legitimate, sometimes they're not. Menstrual cycle, um, exhaustion, ill health, mental um, incapacity, yes. But all of those things, the exhaustion from the work day, right? But that is why the woman needs, and that is why, going back to your favorite book, the Bible, tells a man to love his wife.
Why
Because
can't we?
when you love her, she will be in a better place mentally, physically,
Why you don't just say?
socially.
Why don't you say when you have them 360 reasons
Excuses?
why? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why you just say? Because women just say no. But you just say no.
No,
Your love
because the
no.
woman is seeking
Because no.
to get her man to understand. So you know what I say, right? I it goes against Christian beliefs,
Yeah.
but I honestly believe that two things: men need to know how to interact with women and stop being so selfish.
But women
And
has
then
to.
two, women need to stop being selfish as well. And maybe we'll probably never know the truth regarding what is the right thing to do, because the Bible has an account. There are other documentations that have accounts. There are other places in the world that have always practiced polygamy.
Right.
Others that practice where a woman have more than one husband, right? That's rare, but in some parts of the world that exists. But the bottom line is for each of us to come to an understanding of what works for us,
But
because we've been conditioned to believe one woman for one man, and it is so far fetched from what the reality is. Even men who are Christians find it hard to keep themselves to one woman. And it's not because they don't love their wife, because they feel that they're capable of loving more than one woman.
it's the sexual needs is not met at home. If your sexual needs is more than met at home,
And
you
and a lot
will.
of women find it too much for them.
Yes.
Because what the complaint is,
But
the
no.
women always every night or 2 and 3 times a day.
But
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 you
that's
could
not.
find
But
a
that's not true.
partner.
But here's the truth. But a woman will tell you that's not true. A woman will tell you and tell her friends, child, I always ready. I always it.
And
But they
that is
lying.
true.
No,
But
hold on.
there, no,
A
but
man got to get ready.
because
All the story. Go on.
no,
I listen to you.
a woman could have as high a sex drive and a equal interest in sexual relationship as men do. But like I said, if the emotions are not in line because the man is not meeting her emotional need, she can turn off that readiness like you turn off a water tap.
Granted, might be true, but why did you take this man to be your husband, and you now don't want to fulfill your role because
Because
it's
the
some
man
issue?
is not fulfilling
Hold on,
his role.
hold on. Because it's some issue. It might be finance, it might be romance, some issue. Why can't you just, if you have underlying issues,
Mhm.
get some help? You know you have some underlying issue. You know you can sit
The
down and talk.
underlying issue may be that you and I don't get along. You don't communicate. You don't express love to me. You don't
The
make me
underlying,
feel
the
a
underlying,
certain way. And I could get help, but you don't want to go with
most
me
most
because my
time,
problem, my issue is you
yeah,
and the way you dialogue with me.
right, fine. But that might be true. But most time the underlying issue, the true issue, true issue,
Hmm.
you took a man who you're not compatible with.
You mean that you don't love, but you just marry him
Yeah,
anyhow?
it,
Because
you thought you married him.
because I know
Society,
there are some people who marry
society,
because the
and you,
biological clock is
yeah,
ticking and
all
running.
different stupid reasons.
Um, the man is a good catch, but
Yeah,
he ain't really. I'm not sexually attracted to
and
him.
I had to get out of my,
Um, I married to dodge bullet from other men pouncing on me all the time. So there are a number of different reasons,
and I know me,
bad
and
reasons.
I know me. Watch this now.
Parents
Yeah,
are
but
getting
watch this.
down on me, and I want my freedom. So
But
there's
I,
a number of
and
reasons.
also too,
Uh-huh.
some women will say, I know me, and if I don't close
Hmm.
this door can be open to too much people.
Okay, or as which is
Yeah.
very common in the Bahamas
Yes.
is because they stand up in the pulpit and they tell you it's better to marry than to burn.
Mm-hmm.
So if you having sex outside of marriage, you can burn.
Yeah.
And so,
So they don't let you
but
go
the
ahead.
sexual side of things is where the problem comes
Always.
because men are always ready for sex and men are not always romantic, they're not always endearing, they're not always encouraging or making, and women like to feel special.
No, what
And
it
when they
is.
feel special, that's when they are relaxed and
Yeah,
they open up.
but what it is. See. This is where I have my problem with women.
Hmm.
This is where I have my problem. This is where a lot of men have their problem. Why you can't differentiate sex from a family life?
How could you do that?
How? When it's sex time,
Hmm.
if I say you,
But
so
guess what?
hold on, wait, give me a chance. Why a woman have to have
That
this?
just seems so impossible.
No,
It's like splitting yourself
no.
in two.
Woman can split themselves in two. Women do it all the time. Because guess what? You turn your back. Hold on. You turn your back on a woman on a Saturday. She shop till she drop. On a Monday, Tuesday, she save her money. Woman, I was doing. This is
No,
a,
no, no, but that's different.
no, it ain't different. It's the same. See, a woman could switch it on and switch it off.
Yeah.
See,
And men don't ever switch off.
no,
They always in
but the
one
point,
mood all the time.
but the point I'm making, a lot of men
Hmm.
will back this up. And a lot of men could watch for this. Is that the fact that woman has a thing that I can hold back on you
Hmm.
because you ain't give me this thing I asked for. I ain't give you. Somebody say I ain't giving you none, or somebody say hurry up, let's get this over because I still mad. Now you trying to why a woman will do these type of why the whole
So
lot
you're not. So she's robbing herself
she's robbing me.
and you. She's
No.
robbing
Uh-uh.
herself as
She
well.
if she is married to me, she's robbing me.
But she's
And
also robbing herself
and you
because
should
she's not getting the satisfaction that unless she is really somebody who does not enjoy sex.
and you should not rob yourself now.
No. And that's why it is better to get um, your problems behind you so that you can enjoy. Stop dragging them bags of
No,
problems.
no, no.
Get the issue out.
See,
Just like how you said, when you are in a sexual encounter, you will tell your partner what it is that you want, what you enjoy.
yeah, because I'm
If
not afraid.
I have a problem with you, right?
Mhm,
Me and you in a relationship,
mhm,
and I'm dissatisfied with something that you do, I'm not gonna connect that to our sexual life at all. So I understand what you're saying. Why you can't separate one from the
mhm.
other,
Except one from the other.
but it takes maturity. It takes maturity for an individual to recognize that, okay, I cannot whip my husband or deny him sex because he didn't pay the light bill or he didn't fix the door hinge as he promised. The that's to me that's like petty punishment, right? No, let's grow up, let's get mature, let's keep things in perspective. My love for you has nothing to do with you being irresponsible. But if you are being irresponsible, I'm going to tell you you're irresponsible. And either you can get mad and don't want to have sex with me, but I ain't gonna be the one
but
withholding the sex from you
but I
because
want.
you were irresponsible.
But this show come about. This really show here come
Mhm.
about husband and wife,
Mhm.
and I don't think husband and wife really explore their sexual relationship. I think they all caught up
But
in
again, it
in
have
this
to do.
bag,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think what has happened. One of the party is dying inside,
But the party is not saying.
but the party say because I am sure.
Well, then we
Hold on,
need some sex therapists in this
yeah,
country.
I am sure that men tell some of their wives what they want to do.
But how?
Just tell them.
That's a question.
The
Because
best time to
Tony,
tell
let
them
me
is
tell you
the best
something.
time to tell.
I
Excuse me,
get.
hold on. The best time to tell them
Uh huh.
is when you're in the moment.
I agree.
And so
But
you wait.
then,
When I say in the
but
moment, I mean not just sexual moment, but in the moment, in a good moment. You're out for dinner, or you in the moment, in
mhm,
the right, choose the right moment. I
your communication have to be on that level. You have to, and that is why, when you talk about separating family life from sex life,
yeah,
I believe if you have a beautiful family life, there is a continuum where the life outside of sex is beautiful and you cross right over into your sexual life, and it's even more beautiful because when things are beautiful in your general life, your sex life is the bomb. It can't be topped.
but 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 you hear guys at the bar, especially and at the sporting events. You hear them talk about they don't they say, oh boy, these women, but they never want they want to talk to you, but they never want to talk about their situation. They always throw
They
it
don't
to
want
the
to talk about the role they
yeah.
play.
But see, man has been getting beat on this end, and man has been getting the raw deal because yes, men step out. Most men step out.
But you know
No,
why
no,
they step out? Why do they step out?
but
Why do they step out?
because they say that they have a boring life, or they feel like they're not getting their sexual need at home, and so they step out. But listen, it don't have to be true. But let me tell you what is true. Let me tell you what is true. Let me tell you what's true. In the Bahamas,
Hmm.
there's more women scheme than men. That is true.
And you know what? Can I say something?
Say what you want.
You know why more women scam than men?
Mhm.
Because of that same reason. Men are not getting what they want in the relationship, and they are not willing to lead their woman to the path that they want them to take.
Women don't want to be leaders. Women,
But
women
you
in this
go, but
country
you go
want to
out,
be leaders. They want to lead
but
you.
you go out,
They are more aggressive and bigoted than you.
but
Why you think some of these violence happen? Do you think these violence happen because the man create them?
you go out and you pick up a piece of front and you call it enjoyment. But all of this is a different piece. It's just as dull and boring as your wife. But because
Not really.
there is a
Not
bundle,
really.
because of the
Not really.
additional bundle of being in that relationship, and you are pissed, you are angry, and so many other things are going wrong in the home, that all you could see is, I want sex and she ain't giving me sex, so let me go there and get it.
But I can
But
go
you
out.
out there, and you don't have to face none of the issues that's within the home, and so it's easier for you to get a hard on and get an orgasm and go back home.
But I can go in the bathroom and do it if I want to do that.
I agree.
So that's not the issue.
What is the
The
issue?
issue is this: I have an I have go out to have a relationship, and once I have a relationship, I met or whatever you say,
So
whatever
you're
I can
saying that
turn.
you actually go out and develop a relationship.
Yeah,
You don't just go out and get
right.
sex.
And then the relationship is better because the woman on the outside most likely would be some more submissive to you than the woman
Yeah,
inside.
but then remember the woman on the inside at the start of your relationship was the same way. Very submissive.
Very, very submissive.
Hi,
If they,
Anthony's.
the most
And
women are what? Forcing
forced to
to take.
take the lead as a result of men not taking the lead.
Most men takes the lead. The problem is women want to lead. And women, see, talk about what I talked earlier. Women don't want to be submissive no longer. They will tell you, well, you could go out and get this, and you could be this, you can be rich, you can this, you could live. You don't need to drag the slippers. You need see all the wrong. See, hold on, woman be in charge for all the wrong reasons. Woman, man, if woman was smart, woman would be so wealthy with their husband, but they were smart.
Providing the
Not take,
man is smart
provide.
because
It
the
gotta go both ways.
majority of men give up the leadership. They give it up. Now,
We have to give.
okay,
See, excuse me. We have to give up the leadership because women are strong,
yes.
and
Bahamian
all right,
women in
go back to my
particular
earlier
are
right
very
strong,
strong.
but go back to our beginning. That's when the sexual control comes. Remember I talked about that earlier.
But if you're talking about the beginning of the
But
relationship,
I want to have my sex on time, so I might now have to keep my mouth shut or let the woman control. I'm telling you,
let me say this.
most men are not strong enough to stand to some of these women.
But guess what? You know why?
Why?
That's because you always say women pretend, but men pretend at the beginning of the relationship because they want to get this fine thing in their corner.
That's why we go wrong because we
Yes,
try to
you
give
all
in.
go
We
wrong.
try to
Y'all start
we
off
try to
wrong.
let you
Y'all
control.
try to make a woman believe y'all
She
could do this, that, and the next.
yeah.
And then when the woman get accustomed to it, now you don't even slowly, some of y'all just abruptly drop
Yeah, because
all the things that y'all used to do.
I gonna bring you all the flowers till I get the cushy, and
Okay.
then I gotta get when I get the cushy, I know I can't find afford all those flowers I give you.
Exactly. And
But you know why I did that though?
and you
I
knew
take you
from
from
Jump Street.
yeah.
But if you were honest from Jump Street, you give that woman an opportunity to see the real you and fall in love with the real you.
Most women fall in love. Right? Most women fall in love with men that they know they can control.
Same thing with the man. Anthony said some men know how to communicate to get you, but refuse. And I will underline that word, refuse to communicate. And she said during the relationship. She capitalized
Yeah.
during. And I capitalized refuse. It ain't like y'all don't know. It's just that y'all, I don't know. I think it's y'all way of trying to manipulate. But y'all know the song say man smart,
Woman smarter? That what you
woman
want to say?
smarter.
I don't think so. You know.
Man smart, woman smarter.
No.
Women are smarter.
Man just cut it off. Man cut off.
Y'all come into the relationship
We stop
lying
talking.
and y'all keep on lying. And what you do, like you say,
We stop talking.
when you don't do, then you stop talking.
Yeah, we stop
But
talking.
guess what? Because you
we,
know
we
you're
smart in
defeated.
there. We just
No,
see.
because you know you're defeated.
No, we're not defeated. We just decided that let you talk, that you think you're the boss, and we'll shut up. And then we do our own thing. Then we go outside and listen. We
Uh-huh.
go outside and have a little sweetie.
Yeah.
And then we laugh at you because you got control.
No, but at the end of the day,
most mm,
what you doing when you go outside and get your sweetie? If you don't pack up your clothes and go with the sweetie, you shooting yourself in the foot because you cannot double dip. You all cannot chew gum and walk at the same time.
it don't matter. See, it didn't matter. I'm happy, right?
Happy.
And I only will be happy.
Happy living a lie.
Fine. It might be a cost, but most guys, I'm talking most guys, they're happy. And once they're happy, they will pay for the happiness. So you gotta get this. This is the real world we live in. Stop thinking.
Pay for it's like having a toy. You paying for a
But
toy.
but
That's what it is. You're paying for a toy.
well, see,
But do you want to live in reality or do you want to live in a fantasy?
no,
See, reality requires work,
you
and
create,
men do not want to work.
but you are creating this environment. So I gotta give this to you. You want to have all the say. You want to tell me what to do. You want to okay, fine. You got it now.
I think the thing about it is the thing that
And then you know the
the
first thing we do.
thing.
You know the first thing we do.
Mhm.
We pull the finance
Okay.
because you know why?
And
The
that's why
finance controls
and that's
most
why
everything.
and that's why
You gotta
most
still come back
and
to me.
that's why most women are out there working, because from our parents we saw where our mothers were subjected to all sorts of mis
Mhm. But
abuse,
why
right?
you
Because the man, when he has full control, he treats the woman like trash.
listen?
And when y'all
You
go out there
create that
and
trash.
sweetheart, when y'all go out there and sweetheart running from the woman who wants to take control, what type of woman do y'all sweetheart?
A humble person that we
A
all.
humble,
Yeah.
dependent
Yes.
person.
Yes. Why not? You think?
Because that's the only way y'all could get control.
Yeah.
You all, it ain't about control, you know. You know what it really about? It's about agreeable coexistence. A man and a woman could coexist, have a happy life. If I listen to you, you listen to me. I share with you, you share with me. You give me, I give
Let
you.
me. Let me. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Simple
So we come in
formula.
the close of the show. So let me
Yes.
wrap this up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to the close.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my advice on this love, sexual relationship, love and sexual relationship, it is
She said exactly, but I'm
okay.
not sure. I think something I must
Go
have
ahead.
said.
Love and relationship has to has to um has to love and relationship cannot survive without the key. And I'm putting it close and I'm being
What's the key?
the key is communication.
Yes.
And when the communication is break down, the whole thing, the sexual intercourse, all the relationship, the conversation is broken. And you know what men do? And then you would say what you want.
Hmm.
Men say this very way. I am not going to consider.
Exactly.
Once they do that, what is telling you?
Is he ain't interested in
eh,
mending the bridge?
No, he is what he's saying to you is simply this. Why do we have to go to counseling? And if I have the answer. So what he's saying to you,
So in
shut up.
essence, he feels he have the answer.
Yeah.
Basically, and that's what you say. Shut up. But
I put a
you
close to that.
said the key is communication. Communication is a two-way dialogue. It's not one person telling the other while the other one shut like they ate humble pie
Mhm.
or glue.
But most men, when they don't communicate, now I tell you what happens now. Melanie, you got to follow me here. Most men don't communicate when they're angry,
And that's good.
and when they shut off, there's some reason why they're not communicating.
Hmm.
And so you have to find out the reason why they communicate. And some men don't communicate because some men like control. So
Yes.
is nothing you really could do to get them to communicate because if they are not in charge, I don't hear it.
Hmm.
So you have to sit down and listen. Listen. Don't talk. You know, women like talk. Listen because it's in the lesson. It's right in the talk. It's right there. You just need listening good enough.
Mm.
Men speak what they feel.
I agree. I agree
Mm,
that a lot of us women don't listen
mm,
enough to hear what it is, because we all recognize Bahamian men have a communication deficit.
mm.
You all think a lot, but you all say little. Y'all do a lot, but y'all say little. So if it really, you always say it, it takes a woman to carry the relationship.
It is the woman.
And a woman can get almost anything from a man
Anything.
if she communicates effectively. Sometimes our problem is impatience.
Very
So
impatient.
if we come at you with something once and you don't do it and we come again and you know what we say, that's your habit and it gets irritating. But we have to somehow be able to take a new angle, take a different angle, and study you all because you're all easy to kind of figure out if you really, really
Hmm.
study. Sometimes y'all get frustrated, but still, like a researcher, you have to take time to observe and then you have to try, test, and retest, but keep it in a loving vein because if you don't, like you say, y'all bank out and go to the bar, right, and find a million and one complaint. But that's not 100% foul proof because you still have men, no matter how good, how kind, how patient you are, they still can do what they want to do.
Because men has it in their head from their makeup. From it's in their head from the child.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see men as looking out, as moving out, and moving out, that's a part of their makeup. Their genes probably has it. And when they don't go for deliverance, they continue that.
And then it's social, it's
And it's
social
around
too.
and
It's
it's who you
socially
be with and who you
accepted,
yeah.
yes.
And
And people encourage you, and you have some people that are so outright hateful that they can bring woman or man to put on your partner.
mm, yeah. But you know what? And my last thing on communication, 9 times out of 10, when a man stops communicating with you,
Mm-hmm.
he's screwing somebody else.
Oh Lord.
So if he stopped communicating with you, he's
That's
screwing somebody
that's
else.
that's a that's a real sign for
That's a
true.
sign. That's one of the signs.
That's true.
Because he see he says to himself, I fed up. I had enough. So
When a
whatever
man
happens,
shut down, then you
yeah,
know you're in
whatever
you're
happened,
in trouble.
happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever happens, happens. And he does it subtly.
Subtle.
He
Yeah.
subtly, subtly.
But as we wrap up,
Mm-hmm.
the thing about as you said it, the number one, the key is to communicate,
Communicate.
express yourself. If something's not right, find the right time, place, and conditions. Do not, because they say iron sharpeneth iron. So if you go after him with fire, he'll fire back. If you go after him in patience, he may sit and listen. And then you have to choose to learn your partner, know when they are irritable and
Mm-hmm.
when they're not, and choose the time wisely so that you can get effective communication.
So we come into the close of
Love.
our show. You go. Go ahead. Go
No, no,
ahead.
no, no, no.
Coming to close
We
our
are
show.
at the close
And
because
we
he
had to
just shut
close
me
our
up.
show. This is a beautiful day the Lord has made. And to all those married people and those people who are struggling with relationships, we give you a good method to follow. Communication is the key. Love is not going to conquer everything. Don't listen to that word. You got to be used to taking care of one another, and you see that this person could do where you take you where you want to go. Love has nothing to do with it most times.
Love has everything to do with it
That's our thing.
because if you look at the characteristics of love from the Bible, it says love is patient, love is kind, love is gentle, it's not puffed up, it's not self serving, it takes concern for the other
So why majority of people who marry over 50?
because they're not paying
Hold on, hold on,
attention to those
hold on. Why
characteristics.
majority of people over probably 50 still living the same house and they ain't in love with their man husband?
That's because they need to check themselves out. That you can't love somebody until you love yourself. And I'm not talking selfishly, but I'm talking from a
So you
holistic
could love somebody
perspective.
who ain't love you?
You have to first love yourself. You can't love
Answer my
somebody.
question, man.
You cannot love somebody until you first love yourself.
Listen to me.
Now, what was your question?
Could could you could you love somebody who don't love you?
Yeah, it's possible to love somebody who
Okay.
don't love you.
Okay, you keep that going. See how that works. But anyhow,
No, no,
hold
no,
on,
no, no. The thing
hold on.
about it, it may be senseless, but that don't stop the fact that it could happen.
And answer this next question. How many times you see love broken up?
Pardon?
How many times you see love broken
Love is not something that you would
up?
see. Love is something that you
But you know
experience.
she ain't answer me. But she know what I try. She knows what I'm trying to find.
Let me
But
see.
she
Yolanda said define love.
ah
Yolanda, we
that's
at the
from
end of the show,
Melinda. No,
but
no,
anyhow,
hold on. That's from Melanie. Mm, she talking about love. Define love.
love is friendship on fire.
Okay, that's my what used to be. As I
It
get
ain't no longer.
no, as I get older, as I
What's
get
your
older,
definition of love?
why all these people hurt who in love?
Because their friendship had died. The fire has gone out. The
Okay,
flame
so the
has
love is
gone
gone.
out
So why all these people broken up? Who in love?
because they they cease to exercise their love connection.
So why all these people?
Love is something that you have to work on. It's
Okay,
friendship on
right.
fire.
So why?
If you don't put piece of stick or something, some fuel in the fire will go out.
So why all these people who who?
They
who
stop investing.
okay.
They
So
stop
why they stop
investing.
investing?
I don't know.
Because they stop falling in love. Because they
No,
stop being in
because
love.
whatever it is, see, if love is not reciprocated, eventually you move away. It's like people always use the dog as an example. If you keep kicking the dog come to you happy and all that, but every time that dog come to you, you punch it in the head. That dog
Melinda,
ain't coming to you no more.
Melinda, Melinda, Anthony's. If y'all depend on love, love is most times will disappoint
Mm-mm. Love will fulfill you. You
you.
have to
Listen,
know what you're looking for. You have to know what love
listen.
is. Love is friendship on fire.
What will sustain you?
Okay, she said love or infatuation is the topic for next week.
Well, whatever one.
That's the
Yeah,
topic,
that's the
love or
topic. That's the topic right
infatuation.
there.
So
Love and
that we
infatuation.
can know
Exactly
exactly
what?
what it is that
That,
people are experiencing
out there.
in their
Right,
relationship.
right.
I think that's a good
Because
suggestion.
because what I discovered recently that most times people say they love you, they ain't love you. Most times when they tell you they love you, what they mean is that
They love what you do for them.
there you go. You have no love in this,
Yeah,
so ain't no love in that.
right.
And
But when
most times people who say they have
love to me is your character. I like what you bring to the table. I like who you are, not what you have,
and
but who you are.
most people who say they in love, they get
Hmm.
kicked in their head in the middle of the street
And yeah, ladies and gentlemen,
and run over.
we pass our time. We already, some people already think we are too long,
Yeah.
so we need to
Anyway,
cut it
so
short. But love or infatuation, we
yeah.
will
So next
talk
week
about
we're gonna take on this love thing,
love or
and
infatuation.
we can analyze this love thing for Melanie. I can break this
No,
down.
we got for oh yeah, okay for
Yeah,
me,
we
yeah.
can break this down
All right.
because love.
Thank you all so much for joining
Anyway,
us
have a good
today.
week.
We really appreciate your comments and your support of our show. Be
And I'm
sure
gonna stop
to
telling you.
visit the
I'm so
Facebook page
be sure to visit, but I'm gonna tell
and
you stop wearing your mask. Keep your
competent
distance.
authority.
Keep your distance. Stop wearing your mask. Stop
Keep it
washing your hands.
distant.
But
No,
keep your
no,
distance.
never stop washing your
But that's all
hand.
I do all my life.
Always
Anyway,
wash your hand.
so
Actually, I had a conversation with someone today. You know, say COVID has not taught us anything new. You know, these things that are
long
being
time.
pushed has always been here.
All right.
Take care
Have
under
a
the
great day.
tree, under the tree.
Under the tree, where we meet